Am I good enough? Does the lighting look good? Do I look okay? Am I too fat? Am I tall enough? Am I hot enough to every girl that walks by me? What'll she think? What'll they think? What if this? What if that? Stop. Just stop. So that's been my brain for years. I'm willing to bet some version of that is yours too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I figured it all out. I'm definitely a work in progress. But something genuinely shifted for me over the last month, and I haven't felt like this in a long time. And I want to talk about it. It started with this small, almost stupid moment. I was standing on a street just watching people walk by, and I started paying attention to my own thoughts. Like, how much am I really thinking about these strangers passing by me? Really, like, how much of mental real estate am I giving to the person who just walked by? Honestly, a second, maybe two, gone. I'm on to the next thought. And that's when it truly hit me. If I, someone who overthinks everything, someone who's probably his own harshest critique, if I'm spending less than a minute on a complete stranger, why am I walking around assuming everyone is spending more than that on me? Nobody's going home replaying your outfit. Nobody's lying in bed thinking about the odd thing that you said in a random meeting. In fact, they're doing exactly what you're doing right now, living inside their own heads, worried about what you think of them. We sit inside our own skulls like it's a stadium, convinced everyone's always watching us. They're not even in the building. And I know that sounds very simple, maybe even obvious to some of you, but something about seeing it happen in real time genuinely flipped a switch in me. Watching actual human beings walk past me and just not give a hoot, it broke something loose in me. Because I realized a huge chunk of what I was overthinking wasn't even real. It was a story I was telling myself in an empty room. So that got me thinking about the other ways I was keeping the overthinking alive without even realizing it. And quite honestly, the most uncomfortable one was this. I was talking about my problems way too much. I know that sounds wrong. You're supposed to open up about your feelings, right? Talk it out, process it. Yeah, I get it. But here's what I actually noticed. Every time I brought up something that I was anxious about, said it out loud, repeated to other people, I wasn't necessarily releasing it. I was in fact rehearsing it. I was giving it way more life, way more weight, more reality than it may even deserved. The more I said, I don't know if I'm good enough for this out loud, the more my brain treated it as a confirmation rather than a passing fear. Without realizing, you start internalizing it, and that's where the problem starts. So I got more selective, not cold, not closed off, just more intentional about what I give a voice to. Over all these years, that's the one thing that I realized, because some thoughts just don't deserve a microphone. That connects to something bigger that I think is the real root for all this. So your brain has these things called open loops. Any problem, question, or decision that's unresolved, just floating around, that's an open loop. And your brain just does not let these go. It keeps circling back, checking with you, checking to see if it's all figured out yet. If the answer is no, well, okay, cool. I'll bring it up at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's just how open loop works. The more content you consume, the more you talk through your problems without resolving them, the more options you're presenting to yourself about all the decisions and all the problems that you haven't really solved, the more open loops you just start stacking up. And overthinking is literally just your brain trying to close all of these loops at once and failing repeatedly. You're exhausted at the end of it, you're probably stressed. That's exactly what's happening in the background. What started helping me was just writing. Not in some fancy journal, not a leather book with candles lit around me, none of that fancy stuff. Just getting out my thoughts to paper. Nothing too much going on. Because the moment it's written, something in your brain goes, okay, I've logged it, I think I can let it go for now. It's almost like you're closing the loop and not letting it reopen. And there's a couple of things that's happening here. It helped me see what actually mattered and what I was just spinning on for no good reason. Turns out, most of it was for no reason. And once I could see that clearly, once I could actually look at the list of things that I've written and I was carrying, I stopped wanting to add more to it. I was genuinely bored of my own overthinking. In a way, that's how I saw it helping me. I got way more intentional about what I let in, what problems I exposed myself to, what conversations I've had with people, what conversations that I let in my brain stay as an open loop, because every open loop you create, you're just choosing to carry it forward. But here's the thing. Writing helps, clarity helps, and then at some point, you just have to move. Action is what actually closes the loop. Not big action, not fix your whole life kind of action, just the next small thing that you're doing. When I'm spiraling, the thing that snaps me out faster than anything is a simple next step. What's the one thing that I can do right now? Not the plan, not the strategy, just your simple next move. That's all. Because you see, thinking and doing can't fully coexist. You just can't. When you're moving, the noise quiets. When you're still, it just gets louder. And look, relapses happen. I still have days where I'm deep in it, still have mornings where the first thought in my head is, are you actually going to make it in YouTube? Are you good enough for all this? Are you going anywhere with life? That doesn't vanish. It just doesn't go. That's just life at times. But I think I've found a way to catch it faster now. I know the signs, I know the moves that pull me out of it, and that's honestly all we can go for. And exactly what I'm sharing with you. Not to become someone else, just to get better at managing the person I already am. It's not too hard when you think about it, right? So that's where I'm at, folks. Figuring it all out, still a work in progress. But I want to hear from you. No, really. What's actually worked for you? Not what you read somewhere, not what a podcast asked you to do. Just something that's worked out for you. Something that genuinely helped you get out of your own heads. Drop it in the comments, one line if you possibly can. Because honestly, threads like this end up being way more valuable than anything that anyone can honestly put up as a YouTube video. It's these threads that actually make a difference. So, do me a favor, put down in comments what you think about all this and let us know how you got out of your own heads. So, I'll see you in the next one.